wanted the best? You've got the best podcast, the hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
Hi, folks. Voss here from thechrisvossshow.com. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. There are latest things that makes it official. Welcome to the big show. We certainly appreciate it. As always, the Chris Voss Show is a family that loves you but doesn't judge you. But remember, we don't loan you money, eh? Stop asking. But we are the family that loves you regardless of what type of person you are. Unless you're evil, then we want to fix you. But other than that, you can listen to the show and learn how not to be evil. That's the great thing about the show. We have all sorts of great psychologists on the show that can help you with your evilness. And always great authors tell their stories, etc., on the show. Tell your friends, neighbors, or relatives. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss, Chris Voss on the TikTok, Chris Voss, Facebook.com, and all those other places. And you can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/Chris Voss. We have an amazing young man on the show with us today. We're going to be talking about several of his books. He's a multi-book author. We're going to be talking mostly about his Misunderstood trilogy that he has coming out, and should be pretty insightful and wonderful stories that we'll tell and learn from and all that good stuff. Jay Sherfey joins us on the show. His series Misunderstood. The first book came out November 9th, 2020, and he has the second book out and currently working on the third book. He has worked 32 years as a semiconductor engineer, pushing the storylines rattling up in his head to the back burner. He's been married since 1981, and him and his wife, Claudia, did all they could to help children from troubled homes stay in school, believe they could succeed. They adopted two such children in 2000, brother and sister John and Kristen. Through those years, they helped them develop a working knowledge of how a social safety net helps and fails the rest of us. And so arriving at the doorstep of his successful engineering career didn't come easy. He gained a BA in history and philosophy from NYU. Not sure what he wanted to do after. He studied music. On a whim, he took a physics course at City College at New York in the Bronx. The light went on as the math and physics came easy, giving him his calling. He's now 71 years old and retired from Intel. I told you he was young. And he finally let the stories foaming in his brain free. I had that foaming in my brain one time, but it was from a dog bite. Anyway, though engineering was a blast and great fun, he now loves writing and consuming his time. Welcome to the show. How are you, Jay?
I'm doing just fine, Chris. Glad to be here.
Glad you're here with us as well. Give us your .coms. Where can people find you on the interwebs in the sky?
Okay, JaySherfeyTales.com.
There you go.
It'll be JaySherfeyTales.com.
There you go. So give us a 30,000 overview of your Misunderstood trilogy series.
Okay, the story started bugging the hell out of me several years ago. What if people existed in this world that could read people's minds, move things with their minds? And with that concept, how could it happen? Obviously, if it's going to happen with genetics. So how would that play out? And little by little, the story came about Jason Sutter, that there are communities in this country and around the world where you have 100, maybe 200 people who can do this kind of thing, but they're heavily outnumbered. They have a long history of being destroyed because people thought they were evil, magic, wizardry, witchcraft, things of that nature. And so the first book is about a civil war that did not go well for Jason or his parents.
Oh, wow.
And Jason finds himself stripped of his abilities to protect him. And in a somewhat normal foster home, where over the course of the book, over time, he starts to recover. But he has to deal with a lot of interesting characters on the way. And that's book one. Book two, which is nothing to joke about, extends from book one in that in book one, everyone thinks Jason's nuts. So he has a psychiatrist. The psychiatrist has the ability to find out where his mom is.
Oh.
Okay, his mom is in Poughkeepsie State. Book 2 is about rescuing his mom and finding out exactly what he doesn't know about the communities around the world.
Oh, wow.
And he does. It was a lot of fun to write.
You just got to dig it out of him then. And then,
Yes.
and then we'll get into the other book that you have, Foxtail, here in a bit. So tell us about your upbringing and stuff. How does an engineer with a master's degree stumble into writing? How did you grow up? What were your influences? And when did you kind of start realizing you could write?
You're talking about a very confusing time. 17, 18-year-olds, which is not abnormal. Like many of the men in my family, I had a yen for history, enjoyed it. Have a degree in history. Didn't do too much for me. But miraculously, as you read in my bio, I stumbled into physics. And physics was such a blast, especially the math, quantum mechanics, amazing stuff. And I really enjoyed all of it. And did well, had a good living working for Intel, making sure that the electrons went where they were supposed to go in solid state devices. And they took care of me, and I took care of them. From the writing point of view, what can I tell you? In high school, I stumbled into J.R.R. Tolkien. The Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit.
Lord of the Rings.
Yes. He's a phenomenal writer. I am not as good as he is, but I hope I can tell a good story. My writing, I hope, is good enough. And
there you go.
Go ahead.
And just keep getting better, too. I mean, it's a learned art, right?
Yes. You get more comfortable with things, with writing. Although I have to admit, my upbringing is Catholic grammar school and Catholic high school. And what does that do for you? If you set the religious aspects aside, you know how to write a sentence. The nuns and the brothers were really insistent that English be taken seriously.
There you go.
And then, of course, basic mathematics. I came out of high school knowing trigonometry, and that came easily in high school, which probably should have been a message to me that that's the way I should have gone. However that might be, it's been a blast. It's been a real blast. And I got over my confusion. I did both.
There you go. Let's talk about Foxtails too. That's another book that you have going as a thread now that might potentially turn into something, I think. Tell us about that.
The Fox's Tale is a book that practically wrote itself. It's a story about a fantasy country called the North and a fantasy country called the South and a fantasy country called the Mountain Country. And it all kind of looks very much like England. Mm-hmm. I've read extensively on English history, and it just came out that way. It just made perfect sense to me to write it this way. So what you've got is the North had invaded the South 100 years earlier, taken all of their energy projectors, which is the fantasy side of the story, people who could project energy and make things happen. One of our characters can project into the soil and make weeds go away by themselves. And grow anything.
Need that guy in my house.
Again, a lot of fun. My main character is Jack Fox. And we find out that the North is like Rome, arrogant, powerful. They think very little of people in the South. It's really prejudice. But again, they made the fundamental error thinking that they had captured all of the energy projectors in the South and brought them north. Genetics plays out. They may skip a generation, but they're going to be there. And that's what my main character finds out. He basically is betrayed by his father and taken to the North as with the expectation that he'd be a slave. But it turns out that in doing so, he hurt his son. And he winds up in a clinic of sorts on the border. And lo and behold, he's healing himself.
Wow.
And he shouldn't be able to do that. Only projectors can do that. And then we find out just how powerful he is and his family.
Wow.
And on from there.
I want to be able to self-heal.
Yes, it gets rather complicated. And then the northern people get tired of the southern people getting in the way of their need for slaves, children mostly. And they send a force down to just quiet them down. But a force very much reminiscent of the force sent against Spartacus.
Oh, wow.
No, they didn't set up any kind of protection, no defensive screens or anything, and that did not go well. So I'm pulling in British history, I'm pulling in American Civil War history. I have characters saying things like, "Kill them, Mrs. Hargreaves, kill them all," when they were talking about slavers. And that comes right out of Jackson talking to his men after one of the southern cities of Virginia were destroyed.
Oh.
So I'm playing with history, having a good time, and the physics of the thing.
There you go.
And the genetics. It's fun. It's just plain fun.
So it sounds like a lot of your engineering sort of mindset and, physics and all these different things play into a part of it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And a very, very strong part of it also are the very real human interactions. If they aren't real, the story is worthless. You really have to write your characters in such a way that, oh yeah, any reader can see themselves in some of the characters, that it's very, very real, with human weaknesses, human strengths. And basically my book starts out with some tough things that are going on, but it ends with redemption.
Redemption. People love stories of redemption.
I feel redeemed.
It's redeemed you. Ways. So there you go. That's a good thing.
There you go, yeah.
There you go. That's a good thing. Tell us about the main character in your first book and the setting on it.
Jason Sutter, in Healing Jason Sutter. The title is a play on healing, very much like Good Will Hunting. So you're playing on words there, where goodwill is hunting for something, as opposed to good name will hunting. So it's a play on words. Jason winds up in foster care facility, a big old Victorian house where there are many children, and it's basically a money's game for the people taking care of these kids. They do the work, they do the least they can to get the most money out of the state. And my main evil character is Lydia. And when Jason gets his power back, there is no way he can fix her. But other people in the house, the kids and her husband, most notably, start feeling better. And there's no reason for it. They don't understand why. And that's because Jason has this ability to bring the best out in people. And he doesn't even know he's doing it.
Wow. And it's part of one of his skills then, or his ability.
Yes, exactly. Wow. Part of his skills.
I need that because sometimes I bring out the worst in people. Maybe that's my skill.
Not to me.
Yeah, and I don't do it on the show. I do it.
Okay. Yeah. I hear you.
There you go. That or they just come at me. It seems like mostly happens on Facebook and Twitter. So there's that. So, I mean, you retired after 32 years. Why not just relax and take it easy? And, writing can be demanding. Like, why not just enjoy your retirement?
I'm driven, number one. And number two, I'm not dead yet.
Yeah. Plus, your wife still goes to Target and Amazon, probably.
Yes.
You gotta feed that monster of buying things at Amazon. Yeah. All my married friends are like, Chris, she goes to Target twice a day. I'm like, hey, you married her. Anyway.
You do what you got to do.
Yeah. I'm the bad one in the house, though, because it's only me. So I'm the one who's ordering all the Amazon packages every day. So there you go. It's either me or someone I marry, so I'd just rather be me. I think that's how I'm working it. So when you finish this trilogy you're working on, do you have an anticipated release date for the third book?
The third book will probably come out in about 6 months. The third book is going to cover exactly how they came into existence. I go back 1 million years and what happened in Africa with pre-humans. How could their genetic code be changed? Obviously, they ran into a virus of some sort. And not all of them did, just some. And how that genetic change worked through their systems and through their bodies for the time it took for Homo sapiens to come in.
There you go.
And then you jump to that particular brand of humanity, and then the real brain talent comes in, the telepathy, the telekinesis, things of that nature. So it develops slowly over time, which genetically makes sense.
That's a bummer. I didn't get any weird special powers when I got a virus in Thailand. A trip to Thailand.
I hear you.
Not sure what that was about, but it cleared up, I think. Anyway, it's always Thailand jokes. Anyway, so are there any other books in process in your head, in your mind, maybe that you're thinking about writing? Or are you going to stick with the trilogies and maybe a second Fox's Tale book?
The trilogy first, but I've got a book that's currently titled The Madness of Jonathan Langford.
Oh, wow.
And that story is, in a way, attached to the madness of King George III. In that he leaves reality and comes back, and it's a condition that is in his male family tree, and it varies. He's got the version of it where he becomes happy-go-lucky and doesn't hurt anybody, just has a hell of a good time, and spends an enormous amount of money, which he can afford. But then other men in his family, most notably, unfortunately, his son, has the darker version, where he doesn't leave reality. He's just evil. He can't connect with people. He is totally narcissistic to the point of mental illness, but doesn't recognize it in himself. People around him do. And so that book is about a third done, and I'm not quite sure where I'm going to go with it yet. So that's always fun.
Would you call that a bit of historical fiction?
Not really. Not really.
Okay. But it's based on King Henry.
George III
George.
most notably had a reality break, and it's historical, and that kind of thing appeals to me, and that's where my story starts, with that idea.
There you go. That'll be interesting to see, man. And you're really, you've blossomed with this whole writing thing. Do you kind of have some regrets as to not exploring this sooner, or would that have even been an option with? You did a lot in life from what we talked about with your biography.
That's a tough question to answer. My 32 years as an engineer, like I said, I had such a good time doing that. It was fun. Good people, smart people, exchanging ideas, constantly trying to improve yields in a processing line that was pushing the limits on what can be done in physics with solid state. And they've gone much further since I retired. And again, I could get back into that. That could be a lot of fun. But when these stories started getting in my head and wouldn't release me, I had to write them down. As soon as I wrote them down, even in my notebook and pencil and paper with no editing yet, just the raw deal, it quieted the voices in my head.
There you go. I need something to quiet the voices in my head than lithium. No, I don't take lithium, folks. That's a joke. Calm down. But maybe I should. I don't know. So there's some, I see here, there's something about coming soon to Spotify on your website. What is that about?
What they want to do is to bring any videos that we do, anything like this, to the website. And again, take advantage of anything and everything that the younger folks are looking at. I am not addicted to my cell phone. If it's off, that's fine. I have no problem with that.
What? There's an off button?
Yeah, right. But my daughter and son, they live on their phones. I got to connect with people like that who like to be on their phones a lot.
Yeah, it's definitely a great selling point. I mean, having audiobook versions of your book is important as well. So there you go. Any final thoughts as we go out that we want to miss, or give people a final pitch out on the book?
I think we're going to do a screenplay. So that's going to happen. If you like fantasy with a good, strong, realistic bent toward the science that's available to us now, please read these stories. The people are real. The relationships are real. None of this fantastic type of stuff. It's just they have these little talents that makes it a fantasy story.
There you go. So fun is fun. And you finally reached that pinnacle. I'm glad you got a lot of stuff going. People love series. That's one thing I've learned from a lot of the novelists we have on the show. They like to see the characters progress.
Yes.
through the different book scenarios, and they love series. And so that's, anytime I talk to a novelist who's like, think about writing this just book as a one-off, I'm like, man, if you can, create a series, because people love following the characters, seeing develop. We've had people on the show that have written 100+ books, and they have multiple threads of different series and characters, and it's like just a living environment, if you will. Give us your .coms as we go out so people can see you on the interwebs.
Okay, that would be Jay Sherfey, JaySherfey, Tales, TALES, all one word, .com.
There you go. So thank you very much for coming on the show. We really appreciate it, man.
Oh, thank you, Chris. Thanks for the opportunity.
There you go. Check out the the book called Misunderstood in the Trilogy by Jay Sherfey. You can find it wherever fine books are sold, or on the Chris Voss Show. We'll have a link to it. Thanks for everyone for tuning in. Go to buymeacoffee.com/Chris Voss if you'd like to do that. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss, Chris Voss one on the TikTokity, and Chris Voss, Facebook.com. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. Be good to each other. Stay safe. We'll see you guys next time. And that's just